Hello, fans, and welcome to This Day in Baseball, where we're going to bring you a full radio broadcast of today's game. And before we do that, I just want to thank Classic Baseball Radio, and there's a link in the notes where you can check out their full channel. They have many great radio broadcasts. And while you're listening to today's game, if you want to check out much more about the game and the players, look on the links below, and you're going to see links to player pages, the date the game happened, the year it happened, and the play-by-play. Enjoy the game, and check out the links while you're watching the game, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that every time new content comes out, you're going to get that firsthand. And thank you again for checking out This Day in Baseball, and enjoy the game.
The New York Mets are on the air. Cardinals here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And Bob Murphy, Lindsey Nelson, and I are on hand to bring you all the action. Well, it's a warm afternoon here in St. Louis. The second game of the four-game series. The first game won by the Cardinals, a real thriller, last night by the score of 9-8. In this game today, Al Jackson will be going for the Mets. Al, 28 years of age, from Houston, Texas. He has a record of 5 wins, 11 losses. Lifetime against St. Louis, he has won 5 and lost 5. He'll be opposed by Glenn Hobby, recently acquired from the Chicago Cubs. Glenn, 28 years of age, from Wood, Illinois. He is 1-5 on the year, 1-2 with the St. Louis Cardinals, and lifetime against the Mets, he has won 1 and lost 2. Now for the starting lineup. For the New York Mets, Ron Hunt will lead off. He'll be playing his customary second base. Batting second in center field, Larry Elliott. Batting third, Joe Christopher. He'll be playing right field. In the cleanup spot, George Altman. George in left field has a current 7-game batting streak going. Batting fifth and catching, Hawk Taylor. The sixth batter will be the first baseman, Tim Harkness. Ed Kranepool still out with an injury. Ed has not made the trip with the Mets. Also injured and out for at least a possible 2 weeks, Galen Cisco, who was hit by a ground ball while pitching in the ball game last night. The seventh batter will be the third baseman, Charlie Smith. He had a home run last night, drove in 3 runs. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Roy McMillan. And Al Jackson will bat ninth, the pitcher. For the St. Louis Cardinals, who are currently in 6th place, 45 and 43 on the season, 7 1/2 games back, the league-leading Philadelphia Phillies. Julian Javier will lead off and play second base. Batting second in left field, Lou Brock. Batting third, the shortstop, Dick Groat. Batting in the cleanup spot, the third baseman, Ken Boyer. Batting fifth and playing first base, Bill White. Batting sixth and playing right field, Charlie James. Batting seventh in center field, Mike Shannon. The eighth batter will be the catcher, Bob Uecker. And Glenn Hobby will be the ninth man to bat. He's the pitcher. Now Glenn Hobby gets out to the pitcher's mound. The umpires take their respective positions. It'll be Tom Gorman behind home plate, Chris Balakutis at first, Bill Williams at second, and Vinny Smith at third. And now our national anthem. play-by-play. Well, let's say just kind of stripped down for action, Mr. Bob Murphy. Thank you very much, Ralph, and hi, everybody. 95 degrees at game time in St. Louis. Ron Hunt stepping in to lead off against veteran right-hander Glenn Hobby. Second game of the four-game series, Monday at Travel Day in Cincinnati on Tuesday night. Glenn Hobby, 1 win and 2 losses since donning the Cardinal uniform on the trade deadline of June 15th. Actually, just a little bit earlier than that. The Hobby for debt trade was the forerunner of the big trade made on the deadline. Now the pitch on the way. A grounder hit down to third. Big Hoppet rises for Kenny Boyer. And the fake to White is in time for the out. One away and nobody on. Ron retired on 1 pitch. That brings up center fielder Larry Elliott. St. Louis defensively playing Bill White at first. Julian Javier at second. The shortstop is Dick Grote and Ken Boyer is at third. In the outfield, left-handed throwing Lou Brock is the left fielder. Mike Shannon, also a left-hand thrower. Here's the pitch in for a call strike. Mike Shannon, a right-hand thrower in center field, and around and right, Charlie James. 1 strike count on Larry Elliott. Bob Uecker working behind the plate. Now the pitch by Glenn Hobby. Fastball on the outside corner, strike 2. Last time against New York, Hobby, 28 years old, has won 1, lost 2. First start this year made by Hobby against the Mets. Appeared against New York in relief earlier in the year and was hit rather hard. Now the 2-strike delivery. Off the outside corner, Elliott would not be tempted, and the count goes to 1-2. Joe Christopher on deck, and then George Altman. Sunday doubleheader tomorrow, getting underway at 1 p.m. in St. Louis. That's 2 o'clock back in New York. We'll be on with our broadcast at 1:55 p.m. The 1-2 delivery. Down around the ankles, inside and low, 2-2. Cardinal outfield is deep and around toward right against Larry Elliott. Here's the pitch on the way. Low and inside. Now a full count. He had him 2 strikes. On Larry Elliott. Casey revising his batting order against Glenn Hobby. Christopher will hit third, and George Altman will bat cleanup. Cardinals won a marathon slugging duel last night, 9-8. Now Hobby with a somehow no wind-up time delivery misses high and outside, ball 4, and Elliott becomes a base runner. 1 out and 1 on. Joe Christopher comes up. Joe hitting at .292. Leads the club in RBIs at 41. Charlie Smith now leading the ball club in home runs. Charlie's at 2 on this road trip and now has 10 for the year. Cardinals now have the infield straightaway, looking for the possibility of the double play, and the outfield straightaway against Joe Christopher. Joe had 2 doubles in the game last night. One was hit deep to right center, and the other hit against the screen in right field. Here's the pitch on the way. He took a little bit off, but it's in for a call, strike 1. Wes Westrom coaching at first base, and Don Hefner on the lines at third. Don Hefner, born in Pennsylvania, has made his home in California now during the off-season for a number of years. West now makes his off-season home in Arizona. 1 strike delivery. It's foul to the right into the upper deck. No play. Galen Cisco, the latest of the Mets to be hit by the injury jinx. Galen will be out 2, probably 3 weeks. Galen leaves St. Louis, flying back to New York at 6:55 p.m. Trainer Gus Match, one of the busiest men in Major League Baseball this year with the injury wave, waiting now to talk to Dr. Peter Lamont, the Mets team physician, as they map plans for the mending work to be done on Galen Cisco. Hit hard, a base hit down the left field line by Joe Christopher. Elliott around second is going to hold there as Brock comes up with the ball in a hurry. Brock using that speed to get to the line and hold Christopher to a single. up George Altman with runners on first and second, one out. Last night, the wind favored the right-hand hitters, blowing from right across toward left. It has turned around just about 180 degrees, and today is blowing from the left field corner toward the right field corner. Skies are partly cloudy, and here and there that fleecy cumulus clouds that act as a forerunner at times to thunder showers, and the weatherman is predicting thunder showers later this afternoon. The same for late tomorrow afternoon following the heat of the day. Off the stretch is Glenn Hobby, the pitch to Altman. Off the outside corner, 1 ball and no strikes. They had some real thunder showers in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area and today in the Chicago, Illinois area. Bobby Durkin was telling us they had about 4 inches of rain in Milwaukee last night. It's off the outside corner. Today they had 1.5 inches of rain in a very short period of time in Chicago, postponing the Chicago White Sox action with Kansas City. Rained so much in Milwaukee last night that today's doubleheader has been postponed. They will try and play a single night game tonight. Now the 2-0 delivery. The high drive to deep center. Racing back goes Shannon. Way back. It's over his head. It's off the wall in center field. Around third, flying home is Larry Elliott. Relay to the plate. Not in time. The run is in. Dick Road relaying from center fielder Mike Shannon, but that was a long double by George Altman. That ball on the fly hit the green batter's eye 425 feet from home plate. Ralph, he didn't miss by too much of putting that ball up into the center field bleachers. And the amazing part about the thing is the fact that the ball was not hit in the air at any height at all. It was a line shot, and Shannon actually thought the ball might be cut at first. He got a very late start before he started to turn to go back, and then he realized he had no chance to catch it and played it perfectly as it rebounded off of the wall. 425-foot double by George Altman to drive in a run. New York in front, 1-0. Now the hitter is Hawk Taylor, right-hander against right-hander. Runners on second and third, 1 out. Foul ball cut back toward the crowd. No play for the receiver, Bob Uecker. Jesse Gander hit a drive almost that far last night that was caught by Curt Flood, a real key play in the ball game. And an amazing catch by Curt Flood. The ball was hit so far by Gander. There was runners on second and third and 1 out. Both tagged up and came in to score. At the time, it tied the game 7-7. Here's the pitch on the way. Line drive, a base hit through the hole for Hawk Taylor. Christopher scoring. Altman has the green light. Here he comes. Here comes the peg by Brock. The slide. The run is in. Single to left, driving 2 runs in by Hawk Taylor, and New York goes in front, 3-0. That for Hawk is 13th and 14th RBIs of the year. Last 5 ball games, the Cardinal pitching staff has taken a pounding. Dodgers in the 3-game series preceding the Mets invasion scored 30 runs. Mets lost last night, but got 8 runs off the Cardinal pitching staff, and they have 3 runs in the first inning here today. Now the hitter is Tim Hartnett. Tim batting at .242, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. Pitched by Hobby off the outside corner, 1 ball and no strikes. On a walk and 3 consecutive hits, 3 runs are in. Next pitch on the way. Infield pop-up out behind second base. Dick Grote, looking through the sunglasses, makes the catch. Well, Ralph Kiner would know about those things because en route to the major leagues, he had a brief stopover and played, was it Toronto, Ralph?
Played with Toronto, and of course, Montreal was in the league. I didn't play there too long. I wasn't in the service out that league, but I got a chance to go to Montreal, and it's a very enjoyable place.
Toronto and Montreal, great cities in Canada. Both great sports cities. Now Charlie Smith is up with a runner on first and 2 men down. Pitch thrown by Hobby. Slider on the outside corner, strike 1. Roy McMillan, the on-deck batter.
pitch. Here's the pitch on the way. High drive, hit deep to left center. Way back goes Mike Shannon. Way back, it is gone. A long, long home run by Charlie Smith. That ball landing in the left center field bleachers. It went over the green railing beyond the 400-foot mark. Well, Charlie Smith will absolutely amaze you at times with the power he gets. In batting practice last night, Charlie hit a ball halfway up the scoreboard, which is located, I guess you'd have to say 415 feet back of the fence and also about 40 rows back of the fence and in the air. He has tremendous power for a small fella. Charlie now has hit 3 home runs in 5 games on this road trip. It's in to Roy McMillan for a call strike, and the Mets are out in front now by a score of 5-0. Charlie, by hitting home run number 11 now, has matched his previous high for a full season in the National League. Grounder hit hard, backhand play by Ken Boyer. Long throw to Bill White in the third. He digs it out, and the side has been retired. Big inning for the Mets. Off to a flying start in today's game. 5 runs, 4 hits, 2 of the 4 extra base hits. Both hit over 400 feet. No errors, none left on. Score in the middle of the first inning, the New York Mets 5 and the St. Louis Cardinals nothing. You know, we really get a lot of fun out of bringing these Mets games to you fans, and I enjoy talking about Viceroy, too. There's nothing easier than telling folks about something you yourself enjoy. I'm telling you, I enjoy Viceroy. Viceroy's really got the taste that's right. You know why? Because Viceroy is scientifically made to taste the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, like some brands that taste as if they didn't have a filter at all. And not too light. Like others that keep you smoking one after another trying to satisfy your taste. Viceroy's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the deep weave filter for the taste that's right. Now, next time, pick up a pack, or better still, get a carton of Viceroy. Take it from me, you'll like them. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Smith hitting his 11th home run. That's the 3rd in 4 games on this trip for Charlie. Charlie now has hit 11 home runs in 72 ball games. Had he opened the year with the New York Mets and stayed all season and stayed healthy, probably at this clip would wind up close to 30 home runs. Now Jackson into his windup. He pitched to Javier is a swing and a miss at a sinking fastball, strike 1. Last time out against St. Louis, Al went all the way to beat them in a real good ball game in Shea Stadium. Little Al has a good lifetime record against the Cardinals, 5-5. Jackson trying for win number 6 on the year as he squares off against the Redbirds with a 5-run lead in the first inning. Now the windup pitched to the leadoff batter, Julian Javier, taken low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Defensively, New York playing Timmy Harkness at first, Ron Hunt at second, Roy McMillan at short, and Charlie Smith at third. In the outfield, George Altman in left, Larry Elliott in center, around in right, Joe Christopher. Hawk Taylor behind the plate, and on the mound, Al Jackson. 1-1 delivery. High pop-up into center field. Drifting in, now flipping the glasses, Larry Elliott, and he makes the grab. Jackson seems to have pitched his most effective games this year with Hawk Taylor behind the plate. So despite the fact that the Cardinals pitched a right-hander and Glenn Hobby today, Casey wanted Taylor to handle Al Jackson. Hawk very good at handling the low pitches down in the dirt, and Jackson is strictly a low ball pitcher. And Hawk also weighed in with a base hit to drive 2 runs in the 5-run outburst against Hobby in the first inning. Now the pitch to Lou Brock, a ground ball on the right side. Going for it is Harkness. He snags, throws to Jackson covering, and Brock is out. Two outs, nobody on. Now the hitter is Dick Grote, the Cardinal shortstop. It's been a good series for Dick, and last night was a big game for him. He had 3 for 4 and drove 3 runs in. Veteran right-hand hitter and a great ball player. Bluffed at a bunt, then had to jump away because the pitch came inside at the letters. 1 ball and no strikes. Dick experimenting with a new type bat that has a little bit bigger of a handle because he likes to manipulate the bat. He's an outstanding hit and run man. Goes to right field a lot. Right in for a call strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. They're underway in Cincinnati. Philadelphia got a run in the first inning. It's Ray Culp against John Soturis. The Phillies beat the Reds last night 5-4, dropping Cincinnati 4.5 games back. Ground ball bounced toward the middle to his left side. McMillan. He snags near second, throws on to first, and the side is out. A 1-2-3 inning for Al Jackson. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. So at the end of 1, the score, the Mets 5 and the Cardinals nothing. 1 week from today, the silver anniversary reunion of the 1939 All-Star Game as the Mets stage their 3rd annual Old Timers Day game at Shea Stadium. And Ross, at the starting lineups for the Old Timers game, which precedes the Mets-Milwaukee game, runs close to the 1939 All-Star Game. The National League will have on the field, they'll be the home team, Stan Hackett third, Lonnie Fry, Ivel Goodman, Gary Moore, who lives here in the St. Louis area, Mike McCormick, the telecaster for the Cincinnati Reds. Ernie Lombardi caught that ball game. Joe Medwick, who was here last night and watching the ball game in St. Louis, was in left field. The late Mel Ott was in the ball game. Archie Vaughn was at short. The pitchers were Big Bill Lee and Lou Fetty.
You know, Lindsay asked Ducky how he did in that All-Star game, if he can remember much about it. He was sort of evasive about what went on, and I can understand why. As I look at the box score here, it was 0 for 4.
And I can understand why it was 0 for 4 when he had to hit against guys like Red Rupping, Tommy Phillips.
Yeah, that's a pretty good stat.
And they had hitters to back up that pitching in the American League like Doc Kramer, Red Roth, the Yankee Clipper, Joe DiMaggio, Bill Dickey, Hank Greenberg, Joe Cronin, George Twinkle Toe Selkirk, Joe Gordon. Now Jackson up as we go along to the second inning. Well, that'll be a great day next Saturday in Shea Stadium, the Old Timers Day game. What a galaxy of stars. No less than 12 already enshrined in the Hall at Cooperstown, and more to come. Foul ball whacked back upstairs and out of play. Joe Medwick, for one, received a lot of ballots in the voting last winter for the Hall of Fame. All-Star game in 39, the National League lost the game 3-1, but out-hit the American League 7-6. Foul ball going off to the left, no play. The game was played in Yankee Stadium and drew 62,000, almost 63,000. And the game was played in 1 hour and 55 minutes. The winning pitcher was Tommy Bridges, the great curveballer, and the losing pitcher was Big Bill Lee of the Chicago Cubs. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Al Jackson, leading off in the second inning. Pitch thrown by Hobby outside the high.
Just 2 days ago here in St. Louis, they had a picture of Bill Lee's son, who was trying to show his son how to bat. So time has moved along, as Bill Lee is now a grandfather.
Ralph, there were 2 errors made in that All-Star game in 39, and the 2 men who made them both were playing shortstop, and what greats they were, Archie Vaughn and Joe Cronin. That's why they put erasers on pencils, and as long as humans play this game, regardless of greatness, errors will be made. Now the 2-2 delivery outside to Jackson. Ball 3. It's 3-2. Isn't Archie doing some telecasting work? So Archie is deceased. I was thinking of Pie Traynor.
Pie Traynor does some work in Pittsburgh. He was a great third baseman. Oh, Archie unfortunately drowned a few years back.
I was thinking of Pie Traynor. He's been doing some TV work around Pittsburgh for a number of years. Ground ball. Oh, knocked down by Glenn Hobby. Good play. Throws on to first in time for the out. That ball was hit hard by Jackson. Hobby got his glove up just in time. Of the 4 umpires who worked that All-Star game in 39, 3 of the 4 are still living. Cal Hubbard is the supervisor of umpires for the American League. Eddie Rommel is retired, lives in Baltimore. Recently essayed an article on how baseball bored him. George Majorkirk lives in Moline, Illinois.
I think that Rommel's going to take a pretty good ribbing when he gets back into baseball after that article that he wrote on baseball.
I think the writers will want to talk to him. Pitch to Ron Hunt, way inside, 1 ball and no strikes.
After Whitey Ford won his last ball game, I see he made a reference to Rommel because he did pitch the game very quickly. I think it was around an hour and 45 minutes.
I think if you check into the books, Rommel, who was a fine pitcher and had a great winning record for years with the A's, nonetheless had 1 ball game in which he went all the way and lost 17-16. Ground ball flashed to shortstop, taken on a hop by Dick Gross, the peg to first in time, and Hunter's out. Well, a little controversy never hurts anything, and as a result of the article that was penned under the name of Eddie Rommel, in which he was upset because the length of the game seemed to be getting longer each year, I can well imagine that he'll probably be interviewed as much when the old-timers get together as some of the greatest stars the game has ever known.
Red Smith pointed out a lot of discrepancies in the article about names and different points of interest in the article.
Now Larry Elliott looks at a breaking ball. It's over. Strike 1 call. 5-0. New York in front. We're in the second. Now the pitch underway. Ground ball whacked on the right side. Big hop for Javier. He snags it one-handed. Throws on to White, and the side is out. So Javier, after yielding 5 runs in the first, comes back to retire the side in order in the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. At the end of an inning and a half, the score, the Mets 5 and the Cardinals nothing. And now here's the answer to a Mets fan's thirst. In front, 5-0. The Mets getting 5 runs on a walk and 4 hits in a row, or rather 4 hits, including a 400-foot double, actually 425 feet, and a long double that went in over 400 feet out off the bat of Charlie Smith. Now Jackson into his windup. The pitch thrown to Kenny Boyer. It's over at the knees. Strike 1 call. Back in that real good pitching groove again. He started out as the ace of the staff this year. He actually won 3 of the first 4 games won by the Mets at the start of the season. Now the windup pitch thrown down low inside. He lost a tough one his last time out in Chicago. First 2 games in that Chicago series, the Mets had outstanding pitching from Al Jackson and Jack Fisher. Fielding lapses cost both ball games. Final game, the Cubs outpitched and outslugged the New York Mets. The 1-1 delivery, swing and a foul tip. 1 ball and 2 strikes. St. Louis will play in the course of a year very few Saturday afternoon ball games. Doubleheader tomorrow, so it's in the action. The action is in the afternoon today. Infield around toward left against Boyer. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Boyer this down swinging, and right here We swing around our best baseball network. We pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
810 on the dial. This is WGY, the General Electric station in Schenectady. Your station for all New York Mets baseball games.
Bob Murphy with Ralph Kiner and Lindsey Nelson from St. Louis. The hitter is Bill White in the last of the second. One out and nobody on. Drive hit hard towards deep right. Back goes Christopher. He jumps. Can't get it. Base hit off the wall. Now Christopher in pursuit. Bill White pulls into second, standing with a double. Line drive double off the wall and right. Christopher challenged it. He jumped as high as he could. It was just beyond his reach. Hit hard by Bill White. White has been breaking out since the All-Star break. He was slump-ridden the first half of the year from a power standpoint, but since the All-Star game, Bill has hit 4 home runs. So a hot bat by Bill White would be a tremendous boost for the St. Louis Cardinals. They rely on Boyer and White to provide their power. Now the hitter is the right fielder, Charlie James. One out and one on as Jackson looks back. Now pitches to the plate off the outside corner. 1 ball and no strike. Frank Larry and Jack Fisher for Casey's Mets tomorrow in the doubleheader. Bob Gibson and Kurt Simmons for the St. Louis Cardinals. In comes the pitch. High fly at the center field, not too deep. Elliott drifting in and over to the alley side. Makes the catch, and there are 2 men away. White playing at halfway, goes back to second base. As we hope that when you're visiting the famous World's Fair, you'll stop by Rheingold's Little Old New York. Marvelous place to meet and relax and enjoy talking with your friends. That's Rheingold's Little Old New York at the World's Fair. Fielder Mike Shannon, right-hand batter facing Jackson. It's a strike on the outside corner. Mike hitting at 270 since his recall from Jacksonville of the International League. Mets 5, Cardinals nothing. We're in the last of the second. Now the pitcher underway. Ground ball over the pitcher's head, fielded by Hunt. He was playing him way over, and the throw is in time for the out. Ron had perfect defensive position. He was playing Shannon way over towards second. That ground ball actually was bounced right over the pitcher's head, but fielded almost behind the bag by Ron Hunt. Pride retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. Now 2 innings complete, and the score: the New York Mets 5 and the St. Louis Cardinals nothing. The years, actually, I guess you would say Ralph was somewhat of a protege of Hank Greenberg's, and those two have been inseparable for many, many years. And Hank will be one of the outstanding figures coming back to Shea Stadium next Saturday for the 3rd annual Old Timers Day ball game. It was a classic to watch Hank when he went to that plate with the bat in his hand, wasn't it, Ralph?
No doubt about that, Bob. And one of the spots right here where Hank put a pretty good dent was in this ballpark when he hit a home run the last day of the season of the 1945 season to give Detroit a win over the St. Louis Browns and put Detroit in the World Series. Hank, a Hall of Famer, had quite a career in baseball. He later on went to work at Cleveland, became the farm director there, and then became the general manager and then a part owner. Went over to Chicago, was an owner there with the White Sox, and he has gone from player to manager or general manager to ownership, and that's quite an accomplishment in anyone's life. Certainly one of the most astute men that has ever been around baseball.
It's always impressive, too, to see athletes, professional athletes who have been great, some 25 years later, to see how they have taken care of themselves. And you see men like Joe DiMaggio, Joe Medwick, and Hank Greenberg. They are just in absolute marvelous shape for their age, and it won't bother them a bit to play a 2-inning ball game. You can bet on that. Right now, it's the 3rd inning. Let's follow the action with Ralph Kiner. All right,
right, Bob. Hi there, everyone. It's Joe Christopher for the Mets here against Glenn Hobby. Joe, a right-hand batter, and the first pitch to him is taking a curveball on the outside corner for strike one. Joe singled down the left field line his first time up. The first hit of the game for the Mets. He later on scored when he was driven in by Hawk Taylor. Mets got off to a 5-run lead in the first inning. That's the way it stands now here in the top of the third. And the next pitch back is a slider that's fouled off. A check swing, but the ball got a piece of the bat. Batted strike two. Christopher with his base hit, now batting at .294. He has been hitting very well of late. Has hit in 12 of his last 13 ball games. After Joe Christopher, George Altman and Hawk Taylor. Now the right-hander back again. Curve, it's looked at, a called strike, and Joe walks away. Very good pitch for the strikeout. First one of the game for Glenn Hobby. And it brings up George Altman, who doubled off the center field wall his first time up. Altman batting .244. Double scored Larry Elliott from second base. He had reached first in a walk. And the first pitch hit off of the leg of the pitcher over to third. Picked up by Boyer. He throws to first in time for the out. And a tough break for George Altman. That was a smash through the middle that would have gone into center field. It hit Hobby on the leg and caromed right over to third, right at Ken Boyer, who was standing at third base. He had plenty of time to pick it up and make the play at first. And now they're going to check with Glenn Hobby. He seems to be all right. Last night, the Mets lost Galen Cisco on a ground ball through the middle, and Galen had one of his pitching fingers injured, and he'll be out for approximately 2 to 3 weeks. His middle finger on his right hand was damaged to the point that he will not be able to pitch for quite some time. Now the batter is Hawk Taylor. He looks for strike one.
Well, I guess when you say a pitcher had his middle finger damaged, you might as well say he had his pitching finger damaged, because that's the key one.
It certainly is. That's the long one, and that's the one that puts all the pressure on the ball. Next pitch is popped up back of home plate. Bob Uecker looking for it, and he makes the catch, and that retires the side. 1-2-3 inning for the second time in a row for Glenn Hobby after the Mets picked up 5 runs and 4 hits in the first. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base, and the score at the end of 2.5 innings, New York 5, St. Louis nothing. Bottom half of the third, Cardinals coming to bat. That's leading 5-0. Al Jackson working on the mound for the Mets. Now with a record of 5 wins, 11 losses. This is his 23rd appearance and his 18th start. He'll be working against Bob Uecker and then the pitcher Glenn Hobby, followed by Julian Javier. For the Cardinals trailing by 5 runs, no action in the bullpen for the Cardinals, so Glenn Hobby, who is a good hitter, will be left in the game. Uecker batting .176, no home runs, 2 runs batted in. And the National League also scheduled for a day game, Houston at San Francisco. Tonight, Pittsburgh and Milwaukee will try it again. They were rained out today. And Chicago will play Los Angeles out on the coast in a day game. First pitch to Uecker fouled off at strike one. Action in the American League after 4.5 innings. The Yankees 2, Cleveland nothing. Ramos, who was a starting pitcher, relieving Donovan for Cleveland, coming in the game in the 5th. Al Downing going for the New York Yankees. His record 6-2. Boston leading Washington 3-2 after 4 innings. Daniels against Wilson, and Wilson again has helped his cause. He had a home run in the second with a man on. Real good hitting pitcher. Al Jackson with a 1 strike count and back again. The pitcher's bounced hard to third. A good play by Charlie Smith as he moves over. His throw to first base, a perfect one for the out. Infield here at St. Louis is mighty chopped up, and it's a very difficult infield to play. Cardinals have plans to move to a brand new ballpark in a couple of years. Although this park is in very nice shape, being kept up very nicely as far as the stand area is concerned. Playing field has never been good here. Glenn Hobby now the batter. Batting 125, he has 1 home run and 1 run batted in. And the first pitch is a fastball outside. It's ball 1. In the old days, when the Browns played in here with the Cardinals, they used to tell you that they couldn't get the infield in shape because they never had time to work on it. Of course, the Browns moved to Baltimore, and the infield still stayed the same. It's always very, very hard. 1 ball, no strike count. The pitch is bounced back to the mound. Jackson off to his right, picks up a high bouncer, throws to first in time as Glenn Hobby just trots it out. Now with 2 men out, the batter will be Julian Javier, the top of the batting order. Jackson, working through the first 9 batters, gave up no runs, allowed 1 hit, a double by Bill White off the wall in right field. Now has not struck out. Make that he has struck out 1 batter, he has not walked 1. Javier flied out to center field his first time up. He's batting .263. Mets lead it 5-0, scoring 5 big ones in the first inning. The big blow, a 2-run home run by Charlie Smith. Julian Javier taking time before getting in the batter's box to allow Glenn Hobby to get some rest as he moves on back to the bench. Now Jackson with his first pitch to Javier. Slider breaking over the outside part of the plate, about belt high for strike 1. Javier with 10 home runs. This has been a big power year for him. Has good speed. Very fine defensive ball player. And he hits the next pitch hard on the ground down to McMillan. He takes a half hop, a bad hop, and throws to first for the out to retire the side. Good play by Roy. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base, and the score at the end of 3. The Mets 5, the St. Louis Cardinals nothing.
Boy, taste the way you like a filtered cigarette taste, not too strong and not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right.
That's right. Viceroy is scientifically made to taste the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, like some filter brands that taste as if they didn't have a filter. And not too light, like other brands that keep you smoking one cigarette after another, trying to satisfy your taste. Viceroy's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the deep weave filter for the taste that's right.
Deep weave filter right. Taste that's right, right. Not too strong or light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Viceroy tastes the way you like a filtered cigarette to taste. Not too strong and not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right.
3 innings behind us, the Mets coming to bat in the top of the 4th. They lead 5-0. The first man up will be Tim Harkness. Tim, a left-hand batter, popped up to short his first time up. The Mets sent up 8 men in the first inning when they scored their 5 runs. Since then, Glenn Hobby has retired every man that has faced him. 7 in a row. And his first pitch, a curveball for strike 1. Harkness batting .239. Hobby with the windup and the pitch back to Harkness. It's line off of the glove of Julian Javier into center field. Javier made a good attempt to get to it. The ball was hit so hard that he just got a piece of the glove on it for a base hit. Ball glancing off. He couldn't get the pocket of the glove on the ball. It was off of the heel. So Harkness has his first hit. That is hit number 5 for the Mets. And it brings up Charlie Smith, who had a 2-run home run his first time up in the game. Charlie now with 11 home runs, 34 runs batted in, batting .236. 2 home runs in this series, a 4-game series. Mets lost last night by a 9-8 score. The first pitch is a curve breaking away and outside for ball 1. Cincinnati scoring 2 more runs now leads Philadelphia 6-1 after 2 innings. Green has replaced Culp for Philadelphia. John Katuris going for the Reds. Johnson a home run in the first with 1 man on. Cincinnati playing tough baseball. Next pitch is a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Reds are 4.5 games behind Philadelphia. If they can pick up this one, they will pick up a full game and be only 3.5 back in third place. Giants trail by 1. They're playing on the coast against the Houston Colt 45. Another curveball. This one is inside. 2 balls, 1 strike to Charlie Schmidt. One strike. Charlie, a right-hand batter. No one out, top of the 4th. Glenn Hobby working on the mound. Sets, looks at first base, comes back again. And a curveball is lined right at Dick Grote. He hauls it in, throws back to first base, but Harkness beats the throw. Charlie Smith running the curveball to the shortstop. And that is the first out here in the 4th. And it brings up Roy McMillan. Roy was out in an outstanding play by Ken Boyer at third base. Boyer backhanded his hard smash over the bag and then threw to first, and the first baseman, Bill White, backhanded a low throw out of the dirt to complete the play. Again. And a curveball is lined right at Dick Grote. He hauls it in, throws back to first base, but Harkness beats the throw. Charlie Smith running the curveball to the shortstop. And that is the first out here in the 4th. And it brings up Roy McMillan. Roy was out in an outstanding play by Ken Boyer at third base. Boyer backhanded his hard smash over the bag and then threw to first, and the first baseman, Bill White, backhanded a low throw out of the dirt to complete the play. Mets lead 5-0. 1 out, top of the 4th. And the first pitch is low, a sinking fastball, ball 1. After 5, the Yankees 2, Cleveland nothing. Ramos and Donovan make it downing the opposing pitches. Boston 3, Washington 2 after 4.5. Minnesota 2, Los Angeles 1 after 3. Only games going in the American League. A curveball breaking in and Roy McMillan backing away. 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck batter, Al Jackson. Jim Harkness at first base. Now he edges off. Shortly, the pitch back to the plate. This one hit to left field, high in the air. Moving back is Lou Brock. Now he has the glasses down and he makes the catch. Tagged up at first base is Harkness, but he does not go as the throw comes in on 1 bounce perfectly. And while we wait for Al Jackson to come up, we'll pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
810 on the dial. This is WGY, the General Electric station in Schenectady. Your station for all New York Mets baseball games.
Ralph Kiner along with Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson from St. Louis, Missouri. Mets lead 5-0, 2 men out, top of the 4th. And they have a runner at first base with Al Jackson batting. Al, a left-hand batter, and he takes a curve for strike 1. Al hit a smash back to the box his first time up and was taken out on a good play by Glenn Hobby. Al batting 146. 1 strike count on Al Jackson. The pitch back again. And he swings at a curveball for strike 2. Strike count. Jackson back in the batter's box. On deck batter, Ron Hunt. Now Glenn Hobby sets again. His look at first base. And he misses outside with a fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two strikes. Mets lead 5-0. Scoring 5 runs in the first. Now
Now the pitch back. Hit hard on the first of one hopper, taken by Bill White. He has about 2 steps to go to tag the bag, which he does to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 1 man left on base. And the score at the end of 3 1/2, the Mets 5, the Cardinals nothing. Bottom half of the 4th, Al Jackson completed his warm-up pitches on the mound. Throw on down to second base, and the Cardinals will be coming up. At Yankee Stadium, the Cleveland Indians scored 2 runs in the 6th. That game now tied up at 2-2. Ramos on the record now, along with Al Downing. Donovan was the starting pitcher. Boston leads Washington 5-2 after 5 innings. Daniels and Wilson and Mantilla home run. Minnesota 2, Los Angeles 1 after 3 1/2 innings. Gatewood has relieved Valinsky. Jim Cott going for the Twins. Clinton, Batty, and Kendall home runs. Kansas City at Chicago rained out. Detroit scheduled at Baltimore. Twilight night game in Baltimore. First pitch to Lou Brock is taken low for ball 1. Brock moving up as though to bunt. Lou batting for the second time in the game is 0 for 1. Average at 289. And the next pitch to the left-hander, bunted to third. It's going to be a tough play for Smith. He throws, but he can't get him. Charlie Smith was looking for the bunt. He was in close, but the bunt was so good that Charlie, who fielded the ball about 20 feet from home plate, didn't have a chance to get the flying Lou Brock. Lou picking up his first hit, and the Cardinals have a man on at first base with no one out. Brock last night had 3 for 4, so that's his 4th hit in the series. So he has got speed to burn. He likes to bunt, and the Mets were defense against the bunt, but the bunt was so good that he had little trouble in beating the play out. Now the batter is Dick Grote, who bounced to short his first time up. Grote batting .295. And the first pitch is slice foul to the right side for strike 1. Dick now with 106 base hits. He has a chance to top 200 for the second time in his career. Last year he had 201. Copper at the mound as Hawk Taylor talks with Al Jackson. On a post-game show here in St. Louis, Dick was talking about the fact that he would much rather bat up in the batting order than down in the order. Right now, batting up in the order in the 3rd spot. Last night he had 3 for 4 and drove in 3 runs. He liked the fact that he was hitting against Ken Boyer, hitting ahead of Ken Boyer and Bill White. Also, he has an edge here with Lou Brock on at first base because Brock has so much speed that it gives him an even better chance with his hit and run plan. Now the 1 strike delivery. Off of the glove of Hawk Taylor, goes on back to the screen, and Brock goes into second base. Pitch was up high, not too high, and we'll see how it's scored. Looks like Taylor was confused, and the signer was looking for a curveball. He got his glove up a little bit late, and now Al Jackson going over the signs with him as both Jackson and Taylor walk out to the pitching mound. And it's going into a wild pitch in spite of the fact that it was off of the glove of Hawk Taylor. Taylor now back behind home plate. Brock at second base with no one out. The count 1 ball and 1 strike, and Dick Grote is batting in a spot that he likes to hit in. Jackson back to Grote. Pitch is now on the ground down to short. Going over to first base to Tim Harkness in time, and holding at second is Lou Brock. Al Jackson took something off of the pitch. And Dick was out in front and bounced the ball on down to Roy McMillan. Now with 1 out, a runner at second base. The batter is Ken Boyer. Boyer batting .299. He started the ball game at 3:02. He is 0 for 1.
Rudolph is hit down to short. McMillan holds the runner at second base, goes across the first base again for the out. Out number 2. So now it will be up to Bill White as the Mets lead 5-0. White a left-hand batter. And a line drive to right field. The ball staying up. And now dropped by Bill Christopher after hits on one bounce. He's scoring from second base. Here's Lou Brock. So Bill White with his second base hit, driving in the first run for the St. Louis Cardinals, and that cuts the lead to 4 runs. The Mets lead 5-1. That ball was hit so hard that it stayed in the air. Bill Christopher was going to play it back, never did break in, and had the ball hit in front of him about 6 or 7 feet, and he just was able to knock it down. He knocked it down, then picked it up, but had no chance to throw the man out at home. And Bill White is on at first base with his second hit. Third hit off Al Jackson, and the score now 5-1 in favor of the Mets. And the first pitch to Charlie James after the run is scored is fouled off at strike 1. Charlie flied out to center field his first time up. James batting .228. It was his walk in the 8th inning that gave the Cardinals a chance to start a 2-1 rally that gave them the lead. And the ball game last night 9-8. Charlie walked with 2 men out against Tracy Stallard, and then Lou Brock tripled him in. Brock later scored when Dick Gross singled. Next pitch, a curveball swung on for strike 2. Mets tried to pull it out as they scored 1 run in the top of the 9th, but left the tying run at third base. And the next pitch is bounced foul. So the count holds at 0-2. Charlie James. Jackson looking for the sign. White with a short lead at first base. And the pitch. And a curveball off of the plate, swung on a miss for strike 3, and now picked up a second strikeout. That retires his side. In the inning, 1 run for the Cardinals on 2 hits. There were no errors. 1 man left on base, and the score at the end of 4, the Mets 5, the Cardinals 1. Now, once again, here's Bob Murphy.
Okay, Ralph, we'll be going now to the 5th inning. New York leading St. Louis 5-1, and in the 5th inning, the Mets will have the top of their batting order facing Glen Hobby. Following tomorrow's doubleheader, the Mets journey to Cincinnati, Monday a travel date. Under the lights in Cincinnati, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights, then flying back to New York. The Old Timers Day weekend series against Bobby Bragan's Braves with a red-hot Henry Aaron on Friday night. Saturday, Old Timers Day a week from today, and then 2 games Sunday. On Monday, a week from Monday, the Mets will make the annual pilgrimage to Baseball's Hall of Fame at Cooperstown. They play Washington. Then return for 3-night ball games in Shea Stadium. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. The 28th, 29th, and 30th of July, playing the Los Angeles Dodgers. The night games of Tuesday and Wednesday, the 28th and 29th, appear on your regular New York Mets baseball schedule. The night game of Thursday night, July 30th, is a special makeup game of the game that was called at the end of 5 innings, tied 1-1 because of rain, the second game of a doubleheader. That, by the way, is Casey Stingle's birthday, Thursday night, July 30th. The grand old man, everybody's manager in America, will be 74 years old. So make your plans now for the Dodgers series, the 3-night games, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 28th, 29th, and 30th of July. In the 5th inning, Ron Huntley's up against Glen Hobby. Ron 0 for 2 today. The call, right-hander's pitch, a breaking ball in the outside corner. Call strike 1. We'll be on with the doubleheader from St. Louis tomorrow at 1:55 p.m. New York time with both radio and television coverage. Fastball paved the way for the Cardinals tally in the 4th inning. Brock had punted his way on, went to second on a fastball, and scored on the base hit by Bill White. Now the pitch to Hunt. He lets it go. It breaks too far off the outside edge of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Former left-hand pitcher Tom Gorman working behind the plate. Now Hobby's fighting in the 1-1 delivery. Grounder wrapped foul in beyond third base coach Don Hefner. This is the time of the year when the contending ball clubs will be taking a very close look at their top farm clubs, scanning them to see who is having a great year and might conceivably step right into the lineup and lend a hand. Pitching 1-2. High drive hit left field. It's deep. Back goes Brock to the warning track. He's under it. Makes the catch, and Hunt has been retired. Dean Mock scanned the roster of the Arkansas club and brought up pitcher John Boozer and Costin Shockley. And Shockley has homered in the game at Cincinnati today. Cleveland has brought up an outstanding pitcher who is having a great year in the high minor leagues by the name of Tion. Nobody on. Larry Elliott, the batter. Hobby out of his windup, pitches to Elliott. He runs up as if to bunt, but doesn't offer it. It's out of the strike zone. 1 ball and no strikes. Actually, it seemed to be hotter and more uncomfortable last night than it has been today. Perhaps the humidity was higher last night. Now the windup. Down comes the pitch to Elliott. Breaking ball over, a call strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Beginning days of Larry's pro baseball career, there was some doubt as to whether he should pitch or be an outfielder. First year out, he did a little bit of both. Now the 1-1 delivery. Hit high and long, but it will be foul deep down the left field line. It'll be into the crowd. New York, 5 runs, 5 hits, and 1 left on. St. Louis, 1 run, 3 hits. They've left 2. Joe Christopher hitting third in the order, waiting in the on-deck circle. Center fielder Mike Shannon swung over to right center against Larry Elliott. Larry with that back foot on the restraining line leans and takes outside in the high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 28-year-old Glenn Hobby pitching for the St. Louis Cardinals. Pitching 2-2. Curve is hit high in the air. A pop-up to short left. Moving in the left fielder, Lou Brock, in very shallow left. He takes it for the second out. 2 outs and nobody on. At Fenway Park, Red Sox catcher Bob Tillman has hit a grand slam home run in the last half of the 6th inning. The Red Sox lead Washington 9-2 behind Earl Wilson. Earl Wilson, Felix Mantilla, now the grand slam by Tillman. A lot of home run power for the Red Sox in that game. Yankees and the Indians are 2-2 at the 8th inning at Yankee Stadium. Twins 2 and the Angels 1 after 4.5 in Minnesota. The A's and the White Sox rained out. Tigers and Birds play 2 tonight in Baltimore. A twine-out affair. Pitch to Christopher, a breaking ball inside, ball 1. Glenn Hobby has done an amazing turnabout since the opening inning. He gave up 5 runs on 4 hits, including 2 real long hits in the opening inning, and since then has allowed only 1 base hit. Next pitch by Hobby. Breaking ball outside and low, ball 2. It's 2-0. Johnny Keane knew his pitcher. While the Mets were scoring 5 runs with 8 men coming up in the first inning, there was nary a sign of action in the Cardinal bullpen. George Altman is crouched on deck. Now the 2-0 delivery. Foul ball whacked up short our broadcasting booth, out of play. Good pitchers on the firing line in the doubleheader tomorrow. Bob Gibson and Kurt Simmons for St. Louis. Frank Larry and Jack Fisher for New York. Now the 2-1 delivery. Hit foul down the third baseline. Simmons lost a real heartbreaker in New York when he was beaten in the ninth inning on a dramatic pinch-hit home run with a man on by Frank Thomas. Mets were trailing by a run when Big Frank came up after an absence of well over a month and hit a home run to win the ball game for the Mets. Now Hobby delivers 2-2. Foul ball wafted back toward the crowd. No play for either Bill White or Bob Uecker. St. Louis, a tough ball club to beat at home. They're playing better than 500 ball in their own ballpark and less than 500 ball on the road. Hobby with a 2-2 count. The pitch thrown to Christopher. A curve hit on the ground toward the hole, cut off by third baseman Boyer. Rifled to White on the side is out. After that, only one man reached base since the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. So we've come halfway at the end of 4.5 innings to score. The New York Mets 5 and the St. Louis Cardinals 1. Durkin, you got a friendly refrigerator? Every family ought to have one. Mike Shannon hitting in the last of the fifth inning. Jackson out of his windup. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken high. 1 ball and no strike. I guess the only unfriendly refrigerators are the ones that refuse to turn the light on when you open the door. That's downright unneighborly. The Cardinal batting order hitting in the last of the fifth inning. Shannon, Uecker, and Hobby. Nothing going in the Cardinal bullpen. Hobby pitching strong ball now, and Johnny Keane will go right along with him. Here's the pitch on the way. Lined foul deep down the left field line. No play. Milwaukee Braves, talent-rich in catching. Early in the year, gave up one of their surplus catchers, Bob Uecker, to the Cardinals to try and add outfield strength in acquiring Gary Cole. 1 ball and 1 strike. Mike Shannon waiting. In comes the pitch by Jackson. Low and outside, 2 balls and a strike. Talking about friendly refrigerators, Jerry Gross, the Cardinal broadcaster, along with Harry Buck and Jack Buck and Harry Carey just came in with a big plate of watermelon. Time of the year when the weather's hot, you open that door and the light goes on and there's our watermelon. That's not bad. Now the 2-1 delivery. Low and outside, 3-1. I think all kids love watermelon. I remember one of my youngsters when he first beginning to learn to talk could never pronounce watermelon. It was always Ellen water. Nobody on, nobody out. Last half of the fifth inning, 3-1 the count on Mike Shannon, the center fielder. It's thrown by Jackson. Fastball over, a strike called, 3-2. They had him taking. Cardinals trying to get the men on to go for a big inning. Mets leading 5-1 in the last of the fifth inning. Batter Mike Shannon. Payoff pitch. High pop-up on the left side of the diamond, drifting to short left. Roy McMillan backpedals out. He's there. Makes the catch, 1 away. 1 out and nobody on in the bottom half of the fifth inning. That brings up Bob Uecker. Catcher Bob Uecker, nothing for 1. Thrown out by Charlie Smith, his only time at bat. In the opening inning, got a walk and 4 hits, including a 425-foot double by George Altman. and a home run that traveled at least that far by Charlie Smith. One out and nobody on. Jackson out of his windup. Here's the pitch. Took a little bit off, but it missed outside and high. 1 ball and no strikes. Monday an open date, however, the Mets leave St. Louis following tomorrow's doubleheader and fly on to Cincinnati. Next pitch to Euchre, a slow grounder. Jackson's going to have to hurry. It may go foul. It does, a foul ball. Had it stayed fair, he would have been on. He gave it that real big swing and just tapped it. A tantalizing slow roller that had enough spin to carry it foul. On Bob Euchre. Johnny Keane using Euchre, right-hand hitter, against southpaw Al Jackson. Now little Al looks into Hawk Taylor. They play Euchre just about straight away. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Swing and a miss. 1 and 2. Al's control has been good. He's kept his breaking stuff down low. Al's most effective games this year have been with Hawk Taylor behind the plate. Hawk, a good low ball catcher. And Jackson, more than any other pitcher on the staff, is a low ball pitcher. He likes to break that ball right down around the ankles. Now the 1-2 delivery. Right down in the dirt, under the knees, and the count even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last year, usually, when Jackson was pitching a ball game, it'd be Choo-Choo Coleman behind the plate because Choo-Choo, his longest suit, defensively, was his ability to handle the low breaking pitch. Not even now, it's 2 and 2 as Jackson winds the pitch thrown low and inside. It's 3 and 2. In. He's got a payoff pitch coming up. He makes it off the outside corner. It's ball 4. He went 3 and 2 on Shannon, 3 and 2 on Euchre, walks Euchre, and that brings up Glenn Hobby. That's the first walk surrendered by Jackson. Let's open their homestand next Friday night against Milwaukee, and it will be one of the busiest homestands of the entire season. During the homestand, the Mets will play 4 games against Milwaukee, 3 with the Dodgers, that's 7, 5 with Houston is 12, and 2 with the Giants, 14. They also will make a trip to Cooperstown. Under the knees, 1 ball and no strikes. Hobby 0 for 1, thrown out by Jackson his first time up. The pitching game today between Hobby and Jackson may become a question of stamina due to the July heat. Outside and high, 2 balls and no strikes. Jackson behind on Hobby. Cardinals down by 4 runs. They'll have Hobby swinging away. Let's have the infield looking for 2 toward the middle and the outfield straight away. Jackson hoping to get him to hit a sinker. Fastball, a strike on the inside corner, 2 and 1. Bob Euchre on first base and 1 man out. The 2-1 pitch. Grounder hit down to third. A high hop grab by Smith. Played a second one. On to first. Save at first base. Tried to get 2, but time element simply wasn't there because the ball off the hard infield took an amazingly high hop, and Smith had to go over his head to get it. Forced play at second, 2 men down. Hobby, the base runner, at first. Rheingold after Rheingold. You know why that's so easy to repeat? Because Rheingold is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst. Pour a glass and see. Top of the batting order, Julian Javier facing Jackson. Outside, 1 ball and no strike. Javier has flied to center and grounded to short. Julian hitting .263 with 10 home runs, 45 RBIs. The halfway mark in the season, he was second on the ball club in home runs, but Bill White, breaking out now since the All-Star break, has hit 4 home runs already in the second half and now is second on the team. Now the pitch on the way. Foul tipped. He barely got a piece of it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jackson lost the tough one his last time out when he hooked up against Dick Ellsworth. Cubs winning the ball game 4-2. 1-1 on Javier. The pitch by Jackson, a swing and a miss on a sinking fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Next homestand, starting next Friday night, will carry the Mets into the month of August. And it sees the Dodgers and the Giants come to New York for the second time this year. The Dodgers for 3 night games, including a makeup night game on Thursday the 30th, which is Casey's birthday. The 1-2 pitch off the outside corner. It's 2-2. Fine call by Ryan Hunt. He wants to talk to Jackson. 2 outs. Glenn Hobby on first. 2-2 the count. In the on-deck circle, and Javier goes back over to talk to him for a moment, but the conference at the mound broke up quickly, and Hawk Taylor is back behind the plate and ready to go. Now Alvin up in the set position. Hobby a short lead off first. Here's the pitch. Way outside, ball 3. The swing out again, 3-2. Throwing a lot of pitches in this inning. For the 3rd time in the inning, he's gone 3-2 on the hitter. Two down, 3-2. Hobby, the pitcher, will be running. Jimmy Harkness not holding against the runner, back about 2 steps off the bag, but close enough so that he can make a run on him, draw him back just before the pitch is made. Stretch by Alvin. The payoff delivery. Ground ball hit down to third. Charlie Smith is up with it. Throws on to first, and the side is out. Another good inning by Al Jackson. Redbirds in the 5th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. 5 innings complete. New York, 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors, 1 left. St. Louis, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 3 left. Right here we pause for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
810 on the dial. This is WGY, the General Electric station in Schenectady. Your station for all New York Mets baseball games.
Murphy with Lindsey Nelson, Ralph Kiner, and our engineer Pappy Durkin from St. Louis. The ground crew out manicuring the infield for the second half of the ball game. Mets will present George Altman to hit against Glenn Hobby as we go to the 6th inning. Revised edition of the Mets Yearbook available. You can order by mail by sending 50 cents to Mets Yearbook, Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. Pictures of beautiful Shea Stadium, stories of how it was conceived and how it was built. Stories, too, about the big, beautiful $1 million baby, the Stadiorama scoreboard, which stands some 7 stories high. Warm-ups at Candlestick. Ken Johnson for Houston. He's 7-8 on the year, and Billy Odell for the Giants, 3-1. Al Dark has been juggling his batting order, trying to regain that winning touch. Cincinnati Reds, a hot item in the National League since their double setback to New York at Shea Stadium. They lead Philadelphia 8-2 at the end of 4 1/2. John Soteris for Cincinnati. Dallas Green replaced Ray Culp. Pirates and Braves rained out again today of a doubleheader, and in the emergency, they'll try and make up one game tonight under the lights. Warm-ups at Dodger Stadium. Larry Jackson going for his 13th for Chicago. Randy Koufax going for his 14th for the Dodgers. They both have it. That'll be an interesting day. Ninth inning at Yankee Stadium. Cleveland 2 and the Yankees 2. Ramos in relief against Al Downing. Red Sox with 3 home runs, leading Washington 9-2 in the last of the 7th. Minnesota 2, the Angels 1 after 5 1/2. Altman the batter, and the pitcher strike on the outside corner. The A's and the White Sox rained out in Chicago. The Tigers and Birds a doubleheader tonight in Baltimore. Now the pitch by Hobby. Tried drag bunt, popped into the air, taken by Bill White, and Altman is out. Hedge has had good luck with that drag bunt recently, and he tried to do it here leading off the inning, but he popped it up, and White took it. Third time, Hawks singled in 2 runs off Glenn Harvey in the first inning. Mets leading 5-1, and they got their 5 runs on 4 hits and a walk in the first frame. Now the pitch. Strike called, a fastball on the outside corner. Pitch on the way, lined hard to left field. It'll be a base hit. He gets by Lou Brock and goes all the way back to the wall. Hawk is on his way to second. He'll go into second base standing up. That ball had Brock, the left fielder, hung up in the middle. He didn't know whether to sign for a shoestring or play it safe. Got too close to the ball, and when it did hit, it was only a couple of feet from his feet, and it sailed by him like a bullet. It's a double for Hawk Taylor. It was really hit hard. Hit number 6 for New York, 4 of the 6th game in the opening inning. Now Timmy Harkness up. Tim has 1 for 2. Tim had 2 hits and 3 times at bat in the 9-8 slugfest last night. We're in the 6th inning, 5-1. Mets now hoping to pick up an additional run with Hawk Taylor in scoring position after the line double to left field. It's thrown by Hobby, outside and high. 1 ball and no strikes. Tim, tall, slender, left-hand hitter. Operates feet close together and well back from the plate. Ground ball hit hard. A base hit going through the hole to right field. Hawk Taylor around third will be held up there as the peg comes in from Charlie James. Now runners at the corners with 1 man away, and Charlie Smith coming up. Second game of this series, Tim Harkness now has his second base hit. He hit that one hard, a grounder through the hole on the right side of the infield. Charlie Smith has hit a 2-run homer. The ball landed in the bleachers above the 400-foot mark. Last time up, he lined out the shortstop, Dick Gross. Off the stretch, delivers to Smitty, right in for a call strike. Last night in Cincinnati, the Reds lost a real tough battle to Philadelphia, 5-4, to drop 4.5 games back. They have come back in the day game this afternoon with blood in their eye. In the 5th inning now in Cincinnati, Pete Rose, a line drive hitter, has hit a grand slam home run. The Reds now lead the Phillies at least 12-2 in the last of the 5th inning. Foul ball whacked back upstairs and out of play by Charlie Smith, and the count strike 2. Charlie started his pro baseball career in the Dodgers system, playing his first season in Reno. Now makes his off-season home in Reno. Actually, it's Sparks, Nevada, which is a suburb of Reno. Two-strike count on Charlie. Charlie, a 175-pounder with a wonderful wrist action and good power. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. He got him with a curve that had Charlie fooled. Second strikeout by Glenn Habby. Brings up Roy McMillan. Roy has grounded out to third, fly to left, nothing for two. Casey Stengel with his right leg propped on the top step of the dugout, watching everything. In comes the pitch. Foul fly drifting down the right field line. It will be beyond the reach of the right fielder, Charlie James. Goes just over the dugout roof and drops into the crowd. Youngsters down in the lower right field grandstand corner are here with a banner that says, "Go Mets." Al Jackson out in the on-deck circle. Redbirds in the infield straight away, the outfield straight away against Roy McMillan. Yesterday, Roy was 34 years old. 13-year veteran from Ballin, Texas. Now the pitch underway. Ground ball hit toward the hole off the glove of Bill White. Javier up with it, throws to Javi. In behind Javi, the ball hits Charlie Smith. Smith is trying to score. Huck Taylor has come in. Racing on to third goes Harkness, and to second Charlie Smith. Taylor comes in to score. The ball broke off the glove of Bill White, was picked up by Javier. Javier had to operate in a hurry, and his throw was in behind Javi, who ran over to cover. The throw actually hit Charlie Smith and carried over beyond the end of the Mets dugout. Charlie went all the way to second base. Harkness went from first to third, and Huck Taylor came in to score. The error will be charged to Javier on the throw. McMillan gets a base hit, an infield hit off the glove of White. Also give Roy an RBI. Harkness winds up on third. An error charged to Javier that enabled Roy McMillan to go on to second. So McMillan is on second. Harkness on third. 6-1 New York in front, and the pitch to Jackson taken high. 1 ball and no strikes. Beg your pardon, I think I said Charlie Smith, but it was Roy McMillan. Roy going all the way to second on the infield hit off the glove of White. Javier came up with it and had time to make the play at first, possibly. But his hard throw went in behind Glenn Javi and actually hit Roy McMillan and carried over beyond the dugout. Now the pitch to Jackson. Slow ground ball on the right side. In comes White. He grabs it. Flips to Javi covering. Jackson is out to retire the side. In the 6th inning, the Mets pick up a run. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on. There will be an RBI for Roy McMillan. Score at the end of 5.5 innings in St. Louis. The New York Mets 6 and the St. Louis Cardinals 1. Well, you know, Lindsay, as we fly from city to city with the ball club, it seems to me like more airlines are serving Viceroy.
Yep, the airlines know what the public wants, and 14 airlines are serving Viceroy exclusively now.
Well, it doesn't surprise me because, you see, fans, Viceroy is scientifically made to taste the way you'd like a filter cigarette to taste. Not too strong, like some brands that taste as if they didn't have a filter at all. And not too light, like others that keep you smoking one after another trying to satisfy your taste. But Viceroy's got the deep weave filter for the taste that's right.
That's right, fans.
So why not follow the lead of America's major airlines? Make Viceroy your brand and find out why those leading airlines chose Viceroy. Viceroy's not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got the taste that's right. Lou Brock will lead off for St. Louis as we go to the bottom half of the sixth inning. Brock bunted for a base hit in the fourth inning, got second base on a fast ball, and came in to score on a single to right by Bill White. Pitch by Jackson inside to the left-hand hitter, 1 ball and no strikes. Cardinals have been immensely pleased so far with the trade they made, sending Ernie Broglio to Chicago to get Lou Brock. Brock hitting .291 on the year, but about .360 in the month he has been with St. Louis. Grounded down to first, fielded by Tim Harkness. He waves off Jackson, makes the unassisted play, 1 man down. Nobody on. Number 3 hitter, Dick Grote, coming up. Dick has been up twice and twice grounded out to short. Kurt Flood, normally the Cardinal leadoff batter, sitting this one out, and so Johnny Keane dropped Grote down to the number 3 spot. Keane prefers to have Grote hitting second because he is certainly, without a doubt, probably the best hit and run man in the game today, in addition to being a very consistent hitter. Under the knees, 1 ball and no strikes. Nobody on in the Cardinals' 6th inning. Pitch on the way is right down the middle for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ken Boyer, cleanup batter, is on deck, then Bill White. So far in the game, Al has had more trouble with Bill White than any other Redbird. White has doubled and singled in 2 times at bat. The 1-1 pitch. He bunts it down to third baseline. Jackson gets to it in a hurry. Throws. Bad throw that goes into right field, over into foul territory. Being run down by Ron Hunt, and Grote winds up on second. One single for Dick Grote. He goes to second on the throwing error, charged to Jackson. Now 2 of the 4 hits by St. Louis have been...
Game continues at the beginning of side 3, cassette number 2.
He bunts it down to third baseline. Jackson gets to it in a hurry. Throws. Bad throw that goes into right field, over into foul territory. Being run down by Ron Hunt, and Grote winds up on second. Single for Dick Grote. He goes to second on the throwing error, charged to Jackson. Now 2 of the 4 hits by St. Louis have been bunt singles, 1 by Brock and now 1 by Grote. Ken Boyer has struck out and grounded out to short, nothing for 2. Boyer hitting .299 with 60 runs batted in. Willie Mays, the only performer in the National League who's driven more runs in. Cardinal fans now starting to come alive. Fastball on the outside corner, strike 1. St. Louis Lewis' attendance has been good. The Cardinal performance on the field has been under last year's performance, but the attendance drop-off has been only about 16,000. Now Jackson looks back towards second. In comes his pitch. Off the outside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike. On Ken Boyer. Now the stretch. Here's the pitch on the way. And it's off the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Boyer always dangerous. Mets play him deep in the outfield. Infield is stride to left and back rather deep against Kenny Boyer. Right-hand slugger. Next pitch on the way, inside and low. Now Jackson is behind on Boyer, 3-1. Dick Groot, a heady ball player, trying to shake things up and get things going for St. Louis, bunted for a base hit and wound up on second when the throw sailed into right field. Throw was not too wide, but was kind of into the runner, and Harkness was unable to play it. Ball 4, inside and low, and now Boyer is on. The Cardinals are stirring things up. Second walk surrendered by Jackson. Now the sign goes to the bullpen. Bill Hunter and Bill Wakefield start to warm up. Hunt coming in to toss to Jackson, and Jackson now will be pitching to the man who has hit him the hardest in the ball game, Bill White. White has doubled to right field and singled to right, driving in a run. White now has raised his average to 272, and he's in a hot spree since the All-Star break. Jackson now calling Hawk Taylor out to talk to him. Pitchers have gone all the way. Hobby gave up 5 runs in the first inning. Then pitched 4 scoreless innings. The Mets got a run in the 6th inning off Hobby. Jackson hoping now to get that good sinker ball to make Bill White hit the ball on the ground and give the infield a shot at 2. Roy McMillan plays over towards second against the left-hand hitter, Bill White. Lined hard, a base hit going to right center field, and it's toward the alley, rolling all the way back to the fence. Good, a tremendous score. Boyer around third is being waved in. A 2-run double by Bill White. On a hard line drive, hit up the alley in right center field. You can't hit a baseball much harder than that. Bill White has been up 3 times, double, singled, and doubled, and all 3 base hits have really been wicked line shots. Let's lead now, flashed to 3 runs. It's a 6-3 ball game. The hitter coming up is Charlie James. Spinning a 3-hitter coming into the 6th inning, but a bunt single by Grote, a walk to Boyer, and a long double by White, and 2 runs are in. Jackson off the stretch. Now pitches to Charlie James. A ground ball hits the second base. Ron Hunt digs it out of the dirt. Throws to Harkness. James is out, and White moves on to third. Now there are 2 away. Center fielder Mike Shannon coming up. Shannon has grounded out and popped to short, nothing for 2. Oh, White has just called all those stories about left-handers and right-handers. He's a left-hand hitter, and he has worn Jackson out in the game. Al has given up only 5 hits, and White has 3 of the 5. The only 2 not collected by Bill White were both bunt singles. have the infield back, 2 men down, the outfield deep, a step toward left. Jackson using the full windup with the runner on third. Now the pitch. He took something off, used a changeup to start him out. It was low outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Now the pitch on the way. Low and outside. It's ball 2. He goes behind Shannon 2-0. We have warm-up action for the first time this afternoon in the Cardinal bullpen. Johnny Keene now has his busiest relief pitcher, Ron Taylor, getting ready. Cardinals down toward the tail end of their batting order. Shannon, the number 7 hitter, is up. It now is a 6-3 ball game. Bill Wakefield and Bill Hunter are seriously warming in the New York bullpen. Behind on the count, the 2-0 delivery, a swing and a miss, 2-1. One single by Dick Gross seemed to rattle Al just a little bit. As he walked Boyer behind the bunt single that produced the throwing error and put Gross on second. Then Bill White, who's in a hot streak now, added his 3rd hit of the game to drive 2 runs in as he doubled deep to right center. Jackson goes to the Rosenbach. The hitter is Mike Shannon, right-hand batter, bends from the waist. Fastball, a strike on the outside corner, 2-2 on Shannon. Cardinals started the year playing Charlie James and Johnny Lewis in left and right to fill the vacated spot. Johnny Lewis now has gone back to the minor leagues for further seasoning, and Mike Shannon, who had a good first half at Jacksonville, was brought up. Has good speed. He's a right-hand batter. Jackson with a count of 2-2 pitches. Ball 3 outside and low, and the string is out. On a very hot day with a temperature probably above 95, Jackson has thrown a lot of pitches. He's walked only 2 men, but he's been 3-2 on a number of occasions. Payoff pitch to Mike Shannon. Ball 4 outside. Tying run coming to bat for the Cardinals. Second walk in the inning, and here comes Casey. So Casey is bringing in the left-hander. He feels he'd rather have the left-hander, Hunter, facing the right-hander, Euchre, and the right-hander, Wakefield, facing the left-hander, Tim McCarver. Right-handed batter, Carl Warwick, batting now for Bob Euchre. Bill Hunter on the mound for New York. Bill worked an inning in the 3rd in the game last night, allowed no runs, 1 hit. Down comes his pitch. Line drive, punch down the right field line. It's going to be real trouble. A base hit. White has come in to score. Racing the 3rd and being waved around his Shannon. Now he's held up as the throw comes in. And the tying runs are in scoring position on the looping double down the right field line. He was fooled on the pitch, lunged for it, and punched it and blooped it down the right field line for a double to drive in Bill White. It's 6-4, and the Cardinals have the tying runs of 2nd and 3rd, and Kurt Flood is coming up to hit for Glenn Hopper. Cardinals rolling back here in the 6th inning. Run batted in for Carl Warwick. He didn't hit that one hard at all, but he couldn't have picked a better place to hit it. A bloop down the right field line, scoring Bill White, and he winds up on second with a double. Mike Shannon is now on 3rd, and here comes Casey. Wakefield and Willie are in the bullpen. Wakefield and Willie in the bullpen, and Casey's on his way to the mound. So now let's see if Casey goes with the percentages or has Bill Hunter pitch to Kurt Flood, and it's going to be a pitching change. Bill Wakefield will be brought in. Casey wants the right-hander to pitch to the right-hand hitter, Kurt Flood. And this ball game has suddenly taken a very drastic turn. The Mets were leading 6-1 coming into the last of the sixth inning. The Cardinals have 3 runs in to make it a 6-4 ball game. And they have the tying runs on second and third, 2 men are away. Flood, the pinch hitter, will be the 8th man up in the inning. So Bill Wakefield will be facing Kurt Flood. Bottom half of the sixth inning, 6-4 now. Cardinals 2 behind, but they've got both in scoring position. We'll have a new battery in the game for St. Louis when we move to the 7th inning. Ron Taylor worked 2 2/3 innings in relief last night. And he'll be coming on to pitch for St. Louis in the 7th inning. Now the windup by Bill Wakefield, the pitch to Flood. Ground ball hammered down to third, fielded by Charlie Smith. He throws to first in time, and the side is out. Bill Wakefield comes on to get the pinch hitter, Kurt Flood, and the Redbirds are out. But in the 6th inning, they make it a ball game all over again by scoring 3 runs. There were 3 hits, a bunt single, and 2 doubles. 1 error charged to Al Jackson, and 2 men were left on. Now 6 innings complete the score. The New York Mets 6 and the St. Louis Cardinals 4. And in just a minute, Lindsey Nelson will be with you to describe all the action the remainder of the way. Right now, here's music that says, "Thirst No More."
There's a lot of living being done, a lot of living and a lot of fun where true real lovers meet. Along the Rhine-Gold beach, Rhine-Gold is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst. 'Cause it's brewed extra dry. Rhine-Gold is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst. So get where the living's being done, where the action is, and all the fun on the Rhine-Gold side of the street. Along the Rhine-Gold beach, Rhine-Gold is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst. 'Cause it's brewed extra dry. Rhine-Gold is as good to your taste as it is to your thirst. Rhine-Gold after Rhine-Gold, Rhine-Gold after.
We have changes now for the Cardinals as a new battery is in the ball game, and Flood stays in the game in center field. So Ron Taylor is the pitcher, Tim McCarver is the catcher. Flood stays in center field. Shannon moves to right, and Charlie James comes out of the game. If you're keeping a scorecard, Flood, of course, has to bat 9th. Tim McCarver will bat 6th, and Ron Taylor will bat 8th. For the Mets now, leadoff man Ron Hunt is up. We're in the top half of the 7th inning. Ron Taylor coming on now in relief of Glenn Hobby, who worked 6 innings, allowed 6 runs on 8 hits, struck out 2 and walked 1. Taylor's a right-hander. He winds and fires, and the pitch is high and tight to Ron Hunt for ball 1. It is the Mets 6 and the Cardinals 4 here in St. Louis. In this, the second game of the current series, a doubleheader tomorrow will conclude it. And that pitch is low for a ball. 2-0 now to Ron Hunt. Cardinals scored 3 runs in the bottom half of the 6th inning to get right back in this ball game. Ray Sadecki is running down to the bullpen area. Last night, the Cardinals finished with Bob Gibson in relief for the last inning on the mound. 2-0 pitch is hit on the ground to short. A big hop up to Dick Road. He plays it across in time to White, and it's 1 away. Now center fielder Larry Elliott will be batting for the Mets. He walked, grounded out second to first, and flied out to left field. New York, Cleveland, and the Yankees are going to the 11th inning, tied 2-2. Red Sox beat Washington 12-6. Wilson the winner, Vinny Daniels the loser. Ron Taylor's pitch to the left-hand batter is foul back out of play, and it's strike 1. New York Mets got 5 runs in the first inning off Glenn Hobby. Then did not get another one until the top half of the 6th inning. Got one and threatened for more. That pitch is high and away for a ball. 1-1 now to Elliott. With Joe Christopher on deck. Elliott batting number 2 in the Met batting order today. with the pitch, and it's in there for a called strike. Fastball 1-2 now to Elliott. One man out and nobody on base. Practically no wind at all at this moment. The flag is blowing straight down in center field. 1-2 pitch swung on and foul out to the left side into the seats now to play. The count holds at 1-2. Cardinals have made the same kind of outfield switch that they made last night. Bringing Flood on in center field and moving Shannon over into right. This is a 1-2 delivery. Fired low and away. It's 2-2. Ron Taylor, the workhorse of the Cardinal relief staff, with the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and foul back. It's out of play, and the count continues at 2-2. We'll be on the air tomorrow afternoon at 1:55 p.m. New York time to bring you both games of the Sunday doubleheader. And after the doubleheader, the Mets will fly on to Cincinnati. Monday's off, and then they'll open up Tuesday night against the Reds. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. 2-2 pitch is slammed into center for a base hit. Kurt Flood waits for it, doesn't charge it. Up with it now, plays it back in, and Larry Elliott is on with a single splashed into center. One man out, and Joe Christopher is coming up. He hit a ground single in the left in the first inning. He's 1 for 3 today. Mets are leading by a score of 6-4. Taylor will be working off the stretch here. Bill White holds against the runner at first. Pitch to Christopher is in there for a call strike as Larry Elliott left to start at first base. Ray Sadecki's throwing now in the bullpen. Left-hander Ray Sadecki throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. Goes briefly to the rosin bag. Up and set. Strike one delivery is swung on and missed. It's strike two now to Joe Christopher. George Altman waiting on deck. Taylor is up and set. Two-strike delivery. And it's low and away. McCarver bluffs it toward the first. Instead returns the ball to Taylor, firing it back to him. 1-2 the count now. And Christopher steps back out of the batter's box. Christopher today batting number 3 in the Met batting order. 1-2 pitch. Swung on it in the air to right field. Going deep and way back, and it is off the screen in play. Larry Elliott around second, going to third, throw to second, and he's out at second base. Dick Grote took the throw and put it on Christopher at second. With Shannon firing it into him. Larry Elliott moved on to third. So scored as a single for Joe Christopher off the screen. That screen is in front of the pavilion in right, and balls are in play. It's a loose screen so that the ball comes down into the track, and Shannon played it right off the screen and then fired it into Dick Grote at second. Grote decoyed Joe Christopher a little bit and nonchalanting it and then taking the tag and taking the throw and making the tag. So with 2 men out, the Mets now have Elliott at third and George Altman coming up. Single, and the play goes 9-6 if you're scoring. George Altman had a long double off the wall in center field in the first inning. Since then, it's gone hitless in 2 trips. He tried to drag his way on last time up and instead popped out to first base in foul territory.
to the left-hand batter. Swung on, hit on the ground, back to the mound. It is taken by Taylor. He plays to White, and the side is out. Top of the seventh, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. Score at the end of 6.5 innings is the Mets 6, the Cardinals 4. Now here's a word to the wise about the smart size in beer.
These are thirsty days, my friends. In this, the year of the big election, the big discussion. It takes a big buy in beer to quench a big thirst. And along the Rheingold beat, your big buy in beer is Rheingold Extra Dry in the big value quart bottle. Take advantage of the Rheingold Doubleheader Special. More beer for your money, less money for your beer. Reach for the big one. Rheingold in the economical quart size bottle. As good to your taste as it is to your thirst. Look for the Rheingold Doubleheader display at your favorite store with the Eladonk, the elephant, and the donkey. Hurry.
In the bottom half of the 7th inning, it'll be top of the batting order up for the St. Louis Cardinals. Julian Javier. Bill Wakefield is the net pitcher. Jackson, of course, still is the pitcher of record. As the bookies closed on him, he pitched 5 2/3 innings in which he gave up 4 runs on 5 hits. He struck out 2 and walked 3. Javier is nothing for 3 today. He's a right-hand batter with excellent speed. Comes up now, cleans off the glasses, wipes the perspiration out of his eyes, and moves on into the batter's box. Bill Wakefield getting settled down. Now looks into Hawk Taylor to get a sign. And the first pitch to Javier is high for ball. Wakefield was obtained along with George Altman from the Cardinals in exchange for pitcher Roger Craig. That pitch is in for a called strike. It's 1-1. Again, Wakefield delivers. Slow curveball is popped up to shortstop. Roy McMillan tips the sunglasses. He's there and he makes the catch. Fell away in the bottom of the 7th, and Lou Brock is coming up. He bunted his way on in the 4th inning. He is 1 for 3. Has been a top-flight performer for the St. Louis Cardinals since coming here from Chicago. And the pitch is high. He had a notion to bunt that one. Took it for ball 1. The trade that brought Brock here and sent Brolio, among others, to Chicago was born of the fact that the Chicago pitching did not work out as well as the Cubs had thought, nor did the young outfielders work out as well for the Cardinals as they had thought they might. Here's a swing and a miss, 1-1 to Lou Brock. Of course, some of the veteran members of the Cardinal organization point out that if the veterans had been hitting early, then perhaps some of the youngsters might still be around. Here's a 1-1 pitch hit on the ground to second base. It's taken by Hunt, and he throws on in time to get him. Hunt went over behind the bag at second, and going away, he had to set himself to throw and got enough on it to get the speedy Brock at first base. 2 away. Dick Gross coming up now. He's 1 for 3. He bunted his way on last time and got the rally started for the Cardinals. That produced a total of 3 runs and got them back in this ball game. The Mets are leading by a score of 6-4. Pitch is outside for a ball. Ralph Connor, were you telling me that Gross batted cleanup when he first came to the Major League? Well, on the 52 Pirates, that was very understandable. I see what you mean. Here's the pitch. It's in there for a called strike. In other words, on 52 bucks, you could bet a guy cleanup who just came out of college sort of as an unknown quality sort of thing, huh?
Yeah, it was speculation.
Nobody else could bet cleanup. You put the new man in. I see the point. Here's a 1-1 pitch, and it's low for a ball. 2-1. I think Greg was saying that actually he just left up to his own devices. He probably prefers the number 2 spot, doesn't he?
He likes to be at the top of the order, and second or third. I don't know which one of the two he'd prefer, but he does like to be where he can hit and run all the time and also have those big men behind him.
Not a bad idea. There are 2 men out here and nobody on base. Wakefield looking for his sign. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Grote. Hit on the ground. Foul. Back to third. Knocked down by Benny Smith. Benny's learned a couple of plays back there today.
You know, it's surprising how many more fastballs you get to hit when you're hitting in front of home run hitters, and especially if you don't hit home runs yourself. Dick has not hit a home run this year, and when it comes down to whether or not they would give him a pitch that would be a curveball with a chance of walking him, they would go to the fastball and make him hit the ball and hope that he would hit the ball somewhere that a fielder could come up with it.
His 2-2 pitch swung on and missed. He struck him out to retire the side. Wakefield's first strikeout. He got the side in order here in the bottom of the 7th. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. And the score at the end of 7 innings is the Mets 6 and the Cardinals 4. Kansas City at Chicago, postponed because of rain. Detroit at Baltimore and a twilighter tonight. Right here, as we go to the top half of the 8th inning, it is the New York Mets 6 and the St. Louis Cardinals 4. Bob Taylor is up to lead off for the Mets. He is 2 for 3. He's batted in 2 runs. Ron Taylor's pitch is in there for a called strike. Taylor asks that umpire Tom Gorman examine the baseball. He does and takes it out of play. Strike 1 delivery to the right-hand batter. And it's low and off the glove of Tim McCarver. 1-1. Tim Harkness waiting on deck for the Mets. Larry Bernard is throwing in the Mets bullpen. Here's a pitch swung on and popped up. Some of the infield, Javier has called for it, and Javier makes the catch. One away, and that'll bring up Tim Harkness. This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Conner and Bob Murphy in St. Louis, and here's the pitch to Harkness in there for a called strike. In New York, Fred Whitfield has hit a home run with a man on in the top of the 12th for the Cleveland Indians. A man on in the top of the 12th for the Cleveland Indians. And that pitch is low for ball. It's 1-1. Ground ball taken on the mound by Ron Taylor, and he plays over to Bill White. 2 away. Ron Taylor, as a matter of fact, who's on the mound here, was obtained from the Cleveland Indians when the Cardinals traded Fred Whitfield over to Cleveland. Taylor came here, and Jack Kubazan along with him for first baseman Fred Whitfield, who has just hit the 2-run homer in New York. Now the pitch to Charlie Smith. Swung on and fouled out to the right side and out of play. It's all over in Cincinnati. The Reds beat the Phillies 14-4. They got 17 hits. The Phils got 9. Tsuru's all the way for the win, and Ray Cupp is the loser. Right here, the Mets are leading the Cardinals by a score of 6-4 with 2 men out. Pitch. Swung on and lined into left. Down the line, racing over Brock. He can't get it by him. He's on the ground. The ball's going to the corner, and Smith's going to second base. He holds there with a double. As as Lou Brock went over and dived for the ball, didn't get it in the hand you hear. It's for Brock, who's returning to his position in left field. Charlie Smith is on at second with 2 men out. And Roy McMillan will be coming up now for the Mets. That was base hit number 11. A double for Charlie Smith. Cardinal defense plays McMillan straight away. Taylor checks and deals, and the pitch is on and popped up to deep short. Grote goes back and calls in short left field. He makes the catch. Top of the 8th for the Mets. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. Score at the end of 7.5 innings is the Mets 6 and the Cardinals 4.
The way you like a filter cigarette to taste, not too strong and not too light. Viceroy got the taste that's right. The taste that's right, Viceroy taste the way you like a filter cigarette to taste, not too strong and not too light. Viceroy got the taste that's right.
Bill Wakefield is working in relief for the Mets. Al Jackson started, worked 5 2/3 innings, gave up 4 runs on 5 hits. Bill Hunter came in, worked only 1 man, pinch hitter Carl Warwick, who doubled to right. Then Bill Wakefield came in to put out the fire, getting pinch hitter Kurt Flood in the 6th inning. Wakefield set the side down in order in the 7th inning. Temperature right now is 98 degrees in St. Louis. 98 degrees is the official temperature. Ken Boyer steps into the batter's box, and there's double barrel action in the Met bullpen. Right-handers Carl Willie and Larry Bernard. Boyer struck out, grounded out, and walked so far. He walked and later scored in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Ball is hit to third. Going to be a tough chance for Charlie Smith, and he has no play. Ken Boyer is down with a swinging roller. A base hit. And a leadoff single for the Cardinals, and that, of course, sets up potential tying run at the plate with Bill White coming up. He's been the toughest hitter of the day with 2 doubles and a single. He's driven in 3 runs. So Bill White comes up with nobody out now. Boyer is on at first with a swinging roller taken by Smith, but no throw. He had no play, and Ray Sadecki gets up to throw in the Cardinal bullpen. Only Carl Willie now throwing in the Met bullpen. Wakefield checks the runner at first, and the pitch to Bill White is high for a ball. He has hit the ball 3 times today, just about as hard as you can hit it. Line shot. Wakefield checks and pitches, and the fastball is in there for a small strike. Jammed him a little right over the inside corner, and it's 1-1. White got his 3 base hits off left-hand pitcher Al Jackson. White, the left-hand batter. Boyer leads at first base. He has good speed. 1-1 pitch, misses outside. It's 2-1. applause has begun here in St. Louis as the fans try to aid the Cardinal cause. The Mets are leading by a score of 6-4. Wakefield's pitch misses outside and goes 3 balls and 1 strike now to Bill White with nobody out and the runner at first. And catcher Tim McCarver on deck. And the pitch is high and away. He walked him. Bill White's to first, Boyer to second. Nobody out. McCarver coming up. First walk issued by Wakefield. McCarver's a left-hand batter. Carver has a season batting average of .263 with 5 home runs and 27 runs batted in. Wakefield's pitch is bunted. It's fouled on the third baseline. Vern Benson fields it. Manager Johnny Keane trying to move the runners up, get tying run into scoring position, so he had the sacrifice on to McCarver. Tried to push it right down the third baseline and went foul for strike 1. Carl Willie still throwing in the Mets bullpen. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. The Mets 6, the Cardinals 4. But the Cards have 2 men on and nobody out. Strike 1 delivery, squares to front and pushes it to Charlie Smith. He goes across the diamond to Hunt, and there's a collision. The ball rolls away, and the throw comes to the plate. It gets by. Boyer still holding it third. Nobody scored yet. As the play is backed up by pitcher Bill Wakefield, and the bases are loaded. A collision at first base between Hunt and McCarver. McCarver now is on one knee on the bag. Now he sits down on the bag at first base as his helmet is retrieved by first base coach Joe Schultz. It is scored as a sacrifice and an error charged against Charlie Smith. Charlie Smith fielded the ball, started to throw, and then realized no one was on the bag yet. He had to wait for Hunt to get over to first to take the throw because Harkness was charging on the bunt situation. There was a collision at first, and the ball rolled out of the glove then of Hunt. And the trainer is ascending to Tim McCarver at first base. The bases are loaded here. The interesting thing is that Mike Shannon, the on-deck man, was right up there in the batter's box, which is one reason that the throw was made hurriedly to home. Actually, Ken Boyer had not started for home, but Shannon had moved right up into the batter's box, and in that Cardinal uniform, you couldn't tell him from a base runner. Tom Gorman has been talking to Shannon during this interlude. Johnny Keane went out to see about McCarver. He's all right. The bases are loaded. Ken Boyer had gone into the dugout. He's coming back to third now. White's at second. Bases are loaded with nobody out, and Mike Shannon's the batter. Shannon has counted out, popped out, and walked. The Mets lead by a score of 6-4, but the Cardinals have the bases loaded with nobody out. In New York, the Yankees have scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 12th to keep the game tied. Now 4-4 as they go to the 13th. Tony Kubek hit a 2-run homer for the Yanks in the bottom half of the 12th inning. Infield back for the Mets, and the pitch is high and tight for ball 1. Mets hoping for a double play in this circumstance, willing to give up 1 run to get it as they have a 2-run lead. Manager Casey Stengel pacing in the Met dugout. This might be a good time for you to take time out to enjoy a Viceroy, because Viceroy's got the deep weave filter for the taste that's right. Mike Shannon now moving back into the batter's box. Here's the 1-0 delivery to Shannon. Swung on it on the ground to third. Off with Shins and Charlie Smith. McMillan throws it out into right field. One run is scored. Bill White is coming on to score. 2 runs is scored. Christopher recovers. Runners hold at second and third. It's a 6-6 ball game. Here was the play. A ground ball off the shins of Charlie Smith. Looked as though he tried to field it a little too much in a hurry. He was going to try to go for 2. And then the ricochet went over to Roy McMillan. He tried to get it off over for a possible 4th in a hurry, and instead it traveled on out into right field. 2 runs had scored. Runners at second and third, still nobody out. The official score says charge and error to Charlie Smith. Charge and error also to Roy McMillan. Give Mike Shannon 1 run batted in. And now Bob Skinner, a left-hand batter, is going to bat for pitcher Ron Taylor. It is the Mets 6, the Cardinals 6. Now the Mets have to bring the infield in. Runners second and third, nobody out. Wakefield with a pitch to the left-hand batter. Swung on and hit in the air. Deep to right. In the warning track is Christopher. This one is off the wall in play. 1 run has scored. And now Skinner is coming on to third. And there's no throw made as he goes back to second. Holding at third was Mike Shannon. And Skinner had almost overrun him. The throw came into Hawk Taylor, and he elected not to foul the ball back out to second. As Shannon held at third, 1 run scored on the long drive, a double for Skinner, a run batted in. The Cardinals lead by a score of 7-6. It was a high fly ball hit deep to right center. Elliott and Christopher were back in the warning track. It came off the wall in play. Runners had held up because with the go-ahead run at third, they figured they could score even if the ball were caught. And so 1 run scored. Shannon moved to third. And Skinner was almost at third before he realized that Shannon hadn't taken a turn, and he went back. No play was made on him. Kurt Flood's up, and here's the pitch in there for a called strike. There's still nobody out for the Cardinals as they have scored 3 runs here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. The ball by Skinner is the first one hit out of the infield in this inning. Pitch to Flood, swung on and popped up to the right side in foul territory. Hawk Taylor and Harkness are there. They collide. Nobody injured, and Harkness took it. Now they're talking it over about who called and who didn't. Meanwhile, Wakefield has covered the plate, and Harkness finally tosses the ball to him. So Flood fouled out to first base for the first out of the inning, and Julian Javier is coming up. Runners holding at second and third for the Cardinals. Shannon is at third. Bob Skinner is at second. Mets still have to leave the infield in with only 1 man out. There's a swing and a ground ball to the left side, taken by McMillan. Play at the plate, and he drops the ball. A run scored. Hawk Taylor drops the ball, and Shannon slid in safely. Skinner moves to third. Javier's on at first. Cardinals 8 on the Mets 6. 4 runs scored in this inning with the Cardinals. It was a ground ball to short. McMillan fired to the plate, and Hawk Taylor let it get away. The error is charged to the catcher. Field is short as far as Javier is concerned. Brock is up now. Runners at first and third. 1 man out. So McMillan and Hunt drop back to double play depth. 8-6. The Cardinals leading. That's in for a call strike to Lou. McMillan fired to the plate, and Hawk Taylor let it get away. The error is charged to the catcher. Fielder's choice as far as Javier is concerned. And Lou Brock is up now. Runners at first and third. One man out. So McMillan and Hutt drop back to double play depth. 8-6, the Cardinals leading. That's in for a called strike to Lou Brock. He's 1 for 4 today. The Mets have committed 4 errors here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Pitch is way outside, and Hawk Taylor just barely managed to get out there far enough to snag that one to prevent another run from scoring. Double barrel action in the Cardinal bullpen. Humphreys and Sadecki. Wakefield up and set. And the pitch is low for ball. 2-1 to Lou Brock. Cardinals have had 2 hits in this inning. Swinging roll-up by Boyer and the double off the wall by Skinner. Outside for ball. 3-1 now to Brock with Dick Grote on deck. Brock is the 8th man to come up here in this bottom half of the 8th inning for the Cardinals. Runners lead at first and third. Runner at first goes, and there's a foul ball backing out of play. Count holds 3-2. As Javier was running on the pitch, he comes back to first. Still only 1 man out. Will Wakefield goes to the rosin bag. Leads down the line from third. Javier leads off the bag at first as Harkness holds against the runner there. Javier is running. 3-2 pitches foul backing out of play. So that'll bring Javier back to first once again. Wakefield is up and set. Runner at first goes, and the pitch is outside. Brock walks. The bases are loaded with 1 man out and Dick Grote coming up. Second walk issued in this inning by Bill Wakefield. Grote's the number 3 batter in the order for the Cardinals. He is the 9th man to come up here. He bunted his way on in the 6th inning. Otherwise, he's 0 for 3. Leave the infield at double play depth. The Cardinals are leading by a score of 8-6. And there's a line drive that's gone through Hutt at second base, and 1 run scores and the bases still are loaded. Hutt had that ball right at his feet, and he tried to shoestring it, but couldn't hang on. It was a hard hit ball and a tough one to handle. It scored as a base hit. It was just in his shoe top section. He tried to bend over to pick it off the ground and couldn't handle it. He floated up enough to keep it from going through. Rolled a few feet away, and it scored as a base hit. A run batted in, and the Cardinals lead 9-6. Bases still are loaded. 1 man still out, and Ken Boyer is the batter. Coming up for his 2nd time in this inning. Javier is the runner at third. Brock at second. Grote at first. The pitch to Boyer. Swung on and hit deep to left. Way back, and it's going, gone for a home run. A grand slammer for Ken Boyer. A 4-run homer. Makes it 13-6. Disappeared. at the 358 side into the runway of the bleachers out in left field over the head of George Altman. A grand slam homer for Ken Boyer. This is high away to Bill White for ball one. 13th home run of the season for Ken Boyer. Cardinals have scored 9 runs here in the bottom of the 8th. Here's a swing and a fly ball. He's to right. Good going. This one is gone for a home run. On top of the pavilion in right field for Bill White. And manager Casey Stengel comes out of the Mets dugout. Cardinals. Carl Willie is coming in now to replace Bill Wakefield. And as Willie makes a long walk in, we'll take a walk out for station identification. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.
810 on the dial. This is WGY, the General Electric station in Schenectady. Your station for all New York Mets baseball games.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy in St. Louis, where the St. Louis Cardinals have erupted for 10 runs here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. And Bill Wakefield is leaving. Carl Willie has come in. Wakefield worked 1 2/3 innings. Gave up 10 runs on 5 hits. Struck out 1 and walked 2. And now Carl Willie is the Mets pitcher. Carl is making his 9th appearance of the season. Has a record of no wins and 2 losses. Incidentally, of the 10 runs scored off Wakefield, only 2 are earned runs. McCarver is up now, left-hand batter. Tim McCarver up for his 2nd time in the inning. Carl Willie with the pitch, and it's low for ball 1. Came into the inning leading 6-4. Right now, they are trailing 14-6. Swing on a fly ball, deep to right, going, and it's out of here for a home run on top of the pavilion in right field. 3 straight home runs hit by the Cardinals. Boyer, White, and McCarver have hit consecutive home runs. Cardinals. And it is 15-6 with Mike Shannon coming up for his 2nd time in the inning. Carver's 6th home run of the season. Shannon is a right-hand batter. And the pitch is in there for a called strike. Here's a swing and a miss. Ralph, I noticed the scoreboard still has only 10 runs in the inning. Do you think it's just possible they don't have any 11s out there? I think they ran out. They said to the man, as far as runs are concerned, just make them up from 0 to 10. And it's still hanging there at 10. But 11 runs have been scored in the inning. Here's a pitch to Shannon. Swung out and hit deep to left field. Hoffman's going back. He's at the wall. It's off the wall in play. Shannon's on his way to second. Hoffman's running it down, and Shannon turns and holds at second base. That one missed getting in by about 3 feet, as it was off the wall in left. And that'll bring up Bob Skinner. Came on as a pinch hitter, and now he's batting for his 2nd time in the inning. Darrell Sutherland is getting up to throw in the Met bullpen. Ron Hutt comes in to the mound to say a word to Carl Willie. Willie's faced 2 men, 1 homer to right and 1 double off the wall in left. They have found an 11 to hang on the scoreboard. It's a little dusty, but it's up there. think they got that from the St. Louis Browns days. I think you're right. Bob Skinner waits now. Willie deals. There's still only one man out, and the pitch is outside for a ball. Cannon leads at second base, and the pitch to the left-hand batter is in there for a called strike. 2-1 now to Skinner. Again, Willie is set. And it's low for ball. It's 3-1. Ralph, it's getting a little darker with the clouds moving in, and I'd say the Mets' best hope is that the Cardinals will still be batting when the rains come. That's the only way you can erase this inning. Skinner swings the bat as he waits. Kurt Flood is on deck. Here's the 3-1 pitch, and away he walked it. So Skinner goes to first, Shannon holds at second, and Kurt Flood's coming up. Kurt Flood is the man who's made the only out that's been made in this inning. He fouled out first base some time ago. Willie working off the stretch. Runners lead at first and second. Pitch to the right-hand batter, hit in the air to center field. Elliott has it lined up. He's coming on in. Runners holding, and Elliott makes the catch. Plays it back in, no advance. So Kurt Flood has made the second out of the inning. Made his second out of the inning. Kurt Flood's the only man who hasn't scored a run in this inning as well in the Cardinal lineup. So with 2 men out and 2 men on, Julian Javier is coming up for his second time. Javier is the 16th man to come up here in this inning for the Cardinals. Willie checks, and there's a swing and a foul ball back and out of play. Runners lead first and second. Strike one pitch to Javier. Curveball in there for a call. Strike two. Carl Willie, you'll recall, was struck on the jaw by a line drive off the bat of Detroit Gates Brown in spring training. Again, Willie is up and set. Two-strike delivery is swung on and missed. He struck him out to retire the side. So in the bottom half of the eighth, 16 men went to the plate, and the Cardinals got 11 runs on 7 hits. There were 3 walks, 4 errors, and 2 men left. And the score at the end of 8 full innings of play is the Cardinals 15 and the Mets 6. Only 2 of the runs were earned. We'd like to tell you about an event that's coming up at Shea Stadium on Saturday afternoon, August 1st, when the Mets meet the Houston Colt 45s in the regularly scheduled game of that day. It'll be camera day at Shea Stadium, and on this occasion, you can come out to the ballpark, bring your camera, and between the hours of 12 noon and 1 p.m., you can come down to the field box area and take pictures of your favorite ball players who'll pose for you there on the track. And there'll be a contest. Valuable prizes will be awarded, and details will be announced later. That is Saturday afternoon, August 1st, camera day at Shea Stadium as the Mets meet the Houston Colt 45s on that day. Ray Sadecki is brought on now to pitch for the Cardinals. He's a left-hander. We're going to the top half of the 9th inning. Ron Taylor is the pitcher of record. Bill Gagliano is coming to the ballgame in place of Boyer, and Buchek is at shortstop. Jerry Buchek is at short. Bill Gagliano is at third. Jim Hickman is going to bat now, batting for Carl Willie. Jim Hickman is batting for Carl Willie. a ground ball. Deep short. Buchek has it deep in the hole. Long throw and in time. He got him. Jerry Buchek moved to his right, went deep in the hole to glove the ground ball, and then had enough on the ball at first to get Hickman. One away in the top of the ninth, and Ron Hunt will be the batter. In the history of the National League, the most runs ever scored in the 8th inning of a ball game, 13. So we fell only 2 short of the all-time record. So the Cardinals fell only 2 short of the all-time record. Home runs hit in that 8th inning consecutively. Pitch is in for a called strike to Ron Hunt. To this point, the Cardinals have 13 hits and the Mets have 11 hits. Here's a pitch high and away for a ball. It's 1-1 to Hunt, but the Cardinals lead in this game by a score of 15-6. 1-1 delivery, swung on and lined into center for a base hit for Ron Hunt. Coming with 1 man out in the top of the ninth, and Larry Elliott's coming up now. That was base hit number 100 for Ron Hunt this season, his 100th hit as he moves into the select company of the 100 Hit Club here on July 18th. There's a swing and a line drive into right field for Elliott. It's going to go all the way to the corner, and Hunt's on his way to third. It's played easily off the wall by Shannon to hold Elliott to a single. Hunt moving to third, and now it's runners at first and third, 1 man out, and Joe Christopher's coming up. Joe Christopher is 2 for 4 today. The hits are all even right now. The Mets have 13 and the Cardinals have 13. Sun has completely disappeared now. Sadecki pitches and has a swing and a fly ball down the right field line. Shannon gives it a run. It's over near the wall, and Shannon makes a great one-hand catch. Hunt tags and comes on in to score. Holding it first, Elliott, as Shannon actually leaned over across the low wall to make the catch, make it a sacrifice foul and a run batted in. But Christopher, out tagging up and scoring after the catch. 2 men out now, and George Altman is the batter. 15-7 is the score. Cardinals leading. Sadecki deals, and Altman tries to butt, tips it for strike 1. Back into the glove of McCarver, trying to bunt his way on. Again, Sadecki checks and deals, and there's a pitch low and away for a ball. It's 1-1, and Sadecki fell as he's on the follow-through. Down on his knees now, as apparently he hung his spike and went down on his knees, and that gets McCarver out to the mound in a hurry. McCarver now is trying to smooth out the dirt where the pitcher strides out on the mound. Sadecki hung his spike and went right down on his knees on the follow-through. To the bottom of the 8th, it is the Giants 1 and the Houston Colts 45-0. Johnson against Odell. Cincinnati beat Philadelphia 14-4 today. And it's the Dodgers 2 and the Cubs 1 going to the bottom of the 7th. Again, Altman tries to bunt his way on. Fouls it off, and it's 1-2. That one nicked McCarver a little bit, knocked the glove off, as a matter of fact. He fires the ball back out to Sadecki. Cleveland Indians and the Yankees are going to the bottom half of the 14th at 4-4. Boston beat Washington 12-6. The Angels and the Minnesota Twins are tied 2-2 going to the bottom half of the 11th inning. Detroit at Baltimore in a tri-nighter. Kansas City at Chicago rained out. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and it's low for a ball, 2-2. Cardinals leading 15-7 here. Elliott takes the lead at first base. And the 2-2 delivery, swung on, and missed. Sadecki strikes out Altman to end the ball game. So in the top half of the ninth, the Mets got a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. And the St. Louis Cardinals have won this one by a score of 15-7. We'll be back here in a moment with the final summary and totals. Right now, the final score once again: the Cardinals 15, the Mets 7. And here's music to stamp out thirst by. The Cardinals have defeated the Mets 15-7, and to tell you something of how they did it, here's Ralph Kiner. Well, the Mets and Cardinals came out even on base hits at 13 apiece, but the Cardinals scored the runs. They had 15 to the Mets 7. Mets got off to a great lead in the first inning when they scored 5 runs on 4 hits. The big hit in the inning by Charlie Smith, a home run with a man on. Charlie 2 for 4 for the day, also had a double. Mets had a 5-0 lead until the 4th inning when the Cardinals scored their first run on a single by Lou Brock on a bunt and a base hit by Bill White after Brock had moved down to second base on a pass ball. Cardinals then threatened again in the 6th when they scored 3 runs on 3 hits. In the inning, a single by Dick Gross, a double by Bill White, and a double by Carl Warwick for the big hits in the inning. That made the score 6-4. Mets having scored a run in the 6th inning as Hawk Taylor doubled and scored on a single by Roy McMillan as he moved over to third base on a base hit by Tim Hartnett. With the score standing at 6-4, the 8th inning came along, and of course that was the inning that wrote history into the books for the 1964 season. The Cardinals scoring the most runs of any team in the National League so far this year by scoring 11 runs on 7 hits. There were 4 errors in the inning and 2 men left. Cardinals sent 16 men to the plate in the 8th inning. They had 3 home runs in succession. Kenny Boyer, Bill White, and Tim McCarver hitting home runs in order, and followed by a double by Mike Shannon that hit off the top of the roll in left field. 3 walks were also in the inning, and there was 3 singles. So the Cardinals scoring the runs in the 8th inning, 11 winning the ball game by a final score of 15 runs on 13 hits. They made 1 error and left 7 men on. The Mets had 7 runs, 13 hits. They made 5 errors in the ball game and left 5 men on base. Incidentally, of the 11 runs scored in the 8th inning, only 2 were all earned. Winning pitcher in the ball game, Ron Taylor, who came in the game in relief of the starting pitcher Glenn Harvey. His record now 4-2. The losing pitcher Bill Wakefield. Bill in that 8th inning gave up a total of 10 of the runs and allowed a total of 5 of the base hits. Wakefield's record now 2-3. For the St. Louis Cardinals, a big day for Bill White. He had 4 for 4, 2 doubles, a home run, and a single. He drove in 4 runs. Also, Ken Boyer had a home run, a grand slammer. He was 2 for 4 in the game, and he provided quite a bit of the action in the game also in the field. Mets, Ron Hunt had a base hit his final time up, his 100th hit of the year, and also George Altman kept his hitting streak going by coming up with a base hit. He's now hit in 8 consecutive ball games. Charlie Smith, home run, his 11th of the year. He now leads the club. He was 2 for 4 in the ball game. And
then tomorrow it'll be a doubleheader. It'll be Jack Fisher and Frank Lurie for the Mets against Bob Gibson and Kurt Simmons. Game time will be at 1:55. And just about right now, the wind is whipping up, and it looks like we might get some rain, but it just came a little bit too late. Final score, the Cardinals win at 15-7. So long, everyone.